Hi, my name is Catherine Simpson, and today I'll be talking to you guys about why illiteracy is a good thing. Here we go! While most people believe that these things are true about reading, that it's good because of these reasons, I'm going to prove to you that they are wrong today. Now, on this map from the United States Education, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, we can see that China has 90 to 100% illiteracy rate. Now, their unemployment rate, according to tradingeconomics.com, is 4%. On the other hand, the United States has an unemployment rate of 7.3%, says the United States Bureau of Labor Statistics, with a 14% illiteracy rate from Huffington Post. So an important question to ask here is, if reading is such an important quality for people to have in the job market, then why does the United States have a higher reading rate but much higher unemployment rate to go along with that? I think that's an important question to ask. There's a group of people who call themselves the Westboro Baptist Church, and they read the Bible and get all these different meanings from it than everybody else. And they get in a lot of arguments and in a lot of trouble for what they say. And, well, a good example of that is people leave bags of flaming dog poop on their porches. And an important thing to distinguish here is that these people can read and yet are still regarded as complete idiots. Nobody really listens to what they have to say, nobody likes what they have to say, and it's all because they learned how to read. Another bad thing about communicating through text, or the ability to read, is that when reading it, there are too many interpretations. There's too many ways to read it and be wrong. Like, remember in all those English classes when you read the books and then you talk about like what the author really means through all these things, illusions and all that stuff for like a week, and it's just like, well, sometimes a river's just a river type thing? This would get rid of that. There wouldn't be any way to create all these meanings through something because you are physically told this is what you do, this is this, all of this means what I'm saying to you. So there wouldn't be any more confusion about how people read it, the emphasis that is put on specific words. If people like, what this picture depicts, if people are just kind of bad with their punctuation, if they just forget things sometimes, then this would eliminate that. Alright, so one thing that reading is often credited with is imagination. The problem with this, says parentsquad.com, is that kids' imagination can be overstimulated and they are unable to distinguish between what's real and what isn't. So kids are reading a book and then they're immersed in this imaginary world where there's magic or something, and then they think that they have special powers. I know that was me when I was a kid. I read Harry Potter, and I was waiting for my letter from Hogwarts to come when I was 11, and that didn't happen. And I didn't know that it wasn't real life, that the book wasn't real life, so that could lead to some serious problems for society. An alternative for books would be TV. It would be easy to transfer a text and have an animation, something go along with it. This would also keep in a child's attention span longer than a book would be able to, because according to globalpost.com, the average attention span of a 4-year-old is 15 minutes, while it takes me a lot longer than 15 minutes to read a book. And if we use this in the classroom, it'd be taught in a more interactive and fun way, so the kids are more likely to remember it, and the information taught would be usable throughout their adult life as well, because it's stored long term in their memory. Yet another positive outcome from people being illiterate would be job security. With people being illiterate, the government would be able to lower wages, and because of this, it would create job security for people who work in nonprofits who help people in low-income or impoverished situations. So it would create and keep jobs for nonprofits, while also creating job security for the people who are making minimum wage. If these people who already know everything that comes with their job, what processes are needed, what specific actions they need to take in order to finish their job for the day, why would a company get rid of them if they already have the special skills needed for them to do their job? Why would a company fire them or force them into early retirement or whatever if they would have to retrain somebody new and pay them while training them? It wouldn't be good for the company. In this part of my presentation, I will be talking about people who are successful and just happen to be illiterate. I believe that these people should be the model for our new illiterate society. The first example is R. Kelly. R. Kelly is a famous and well-known singer. Most people might know him from his most recent project, which was Trapped in the Closet, or they might know him from Space Jam, I Believe I Can Fly. So, obviously he's successful, well-known, and a good model citizen. CNN interviewed Mary Willingham from University of North Carolina, and she has had a number of student athletes who are unable to read come in to her office. Now, CNN then went to other public universities with open records and found that college football and basketball, most schools had between 7 to 18% of players who, according to test scores, were reading at an elementary level. If these scholar athletes don't need to know how to read, then why do we? They made it to a very good competitive college, barely being able to read. So, if they can get into a college unable to read, why do we need to read? This next example of illiterates becoming very successful is a man named Andreas. Andreas is an illiterate who is now worth around $650 million, and he's the 100th richest man in Britain. Andreas went through his life unable to read and still became a very successful businessman and famous for his wealth. All of these reasons that I have given you and my two examples of illiterates being able to still succeed in this society proves that I am right and that reading is a form of communication and imagination that is no longer necessary to life today.